students, hope everyone is in good shape. Though the weather is really irritating, I don't know whether any of you likes this kind of weather, but I personally don't like. I mean, rain in winter season. I don't understand why. Throughout the last year, in every month it was raining for 4, 5, or 10 days sometimes, and now in this year also it has started, even in winter season. Anyway, today we will be discussing a new chapter, that is, you can see, Settling into the Secret Annex by Anne Frank. This particular chapter, when we will go through, you will understand that it has been written in first person narrative, which means the author, the narrator himself or herself, obviously herself, as you can see the writer is Anne Frank, she herself is a part of this story. I won't say that it is yes, it is autobiographical. It's not that she is explaining each and everything or all those things. At least the portion that has been included in your syllabus, obviously not the whole diary entry has been included, no. But the portion that has been included, she is not explaining in this portion the birthplace and all those details. Those are there in her diary entry. If you can buy the whole book, or if you want to read the whole book, you can do that, obviously. And here we will learn about some significant incidents. Let me tell you one thing. This is a part of her diary entry. Okay, these instances, this particular text, the portion that has been mentioned here, has been taken from her diary entry. Okay, let me tell you something about the author, then we will learn these things. First of all, Anne Frank, 140, page number 140. Anne Frank was born in Frankfurt, Germany. She moved to Amsterdam with her family in 1933. The family went into hiding in 1942 to escape persecution by the Germans during the Second World War. Wait, I will tell this. Anne wrote about her experiences during this period in a diary which was first published in 1947 and since has been translated in more than 60 languages. Yes, at first it was written in Dutch language and then it became so famous, though she was not there to experience that popularity. It's sad, but it became so famous and popular that it was translated into more than 60 languages. I hope you can understand how much significant this work is, the diary of this young girl. Okay, so why this genocide, this slaughtering? Listen, okay, this portion you try to solve, okay, on your own, then we will discuss in the live class. If we can't complete it in the live class, then I will be discussing in the next video, no problem, but at first you try to do it on your own, alright, and remind me in the live class. See, we are going to discuss this portion at first, then we will discuss again. The extract that follows is taken from the diary of a young girl. I'm sure that you have already understood who that young girl is. Obviously, Anne Frank. Based on a diary written in Dutch by Anne Frank. So, the original language was Dutch, in which Anne Frank herself wrote this diary. Then it was translated. A young Jewish girl. Okay, Jews are the people of a particular community, a cultural community whose whose religion is was Judaism, and there are much more things that if you want to learn in details about Jews, then you can search in internet, you can use that in a positive way. Okay, but this will be enough for you. She belonged to a community whose religion was Judaism and they were known as Jewish people. So she was a Jewish girl. She and her family had to go into hiding for 2 years during the Second World War, when the Jews were being persecuted by the German soldiers, and began to keep a diary from her 13th birthday. Important information. Her moving account records the difficulties and sufferings of innocent families during the war. The Second World War it took place in between 1945 to 1949, and what happened, this is a very vast history. I don't know whether you have already read this portion in your history book. I mean in the subject history, or you will be reading. I don't know. I'm just mentioning the most important things, or the things that you may find helpful when you will go through this chapter. During the Second World War, what happened? There was a point when the German people, they captured Europe. Okay, especially during the reign of Hitler, they believed in dictatorship. Hitler and the Nazi party, they believed in dictatorship. Whatever the authority will decide, people have to agree with them. Okay, that was their mindset. What happened? And Hitler, he probably particularly believed in that true blood. I mean, how to explain this? I think most of you have watched Harry Potter. What was the motive of Voldemort? Do you remember? He wanted to slaughter all the mudbloods. He believed in the theory that only the people who belong to original wizard and witches families, they will be there, and all other people who are mudbloods, they will be slaughtered. They will be killed. This kind of thing was believed by Hitler. Okay, he wanted to slaughter all the people who were Jews and who were not original German people. Okay, pure German blood. Without pure German blood, those people would be slaughtered. This kind of mindset was there. You can search in Google if you find like interest in this topic. Okay, you can spend time reading these things, no problem. The main idea is what happened during the Second World War. Almost 6 million European Jews were slaughtered. Almost 6 million European Jews were slaughtered, were killed. Brutally. Brutally. You can't imagine how pathetic the situation was for them. Every hour, every second, they never knew which is the last second of their life. Okay, they never knew that which was the last second, last minute of their life. This was the scene there. That is why, as Anne Frank and her family members, they were Jewish people, they had to escape from the eyes of Nazi people or those rulers. Okay, that has been only mentioned here, and Anne started to keep this diary from her 13th birthday, as she has mentioned here, and she recorded so many experiences there. In diary we record our daily experiences. No? So she didn't know that it was going to be published, but she wrote her heart out in her diary. And from her diary we come to know about a lot of things that were going on during that period. Okay, that's why it's so famous. She was writing her first-hand experience, obviously. Anyway, so Thursday, 9 July 1942. The pattern is also like a diary entry because it originally is a diary entry. So Thursday, 9 July 1942. What happened? Let's see. Dearest Kitty. Now who is Kitty? Kitty is one of the names that Anne Frank had given to her diary. She gave so many names to her diary, loving names and lovely names, and Kitty is one of them. So dearest Kitty, it was agreed that we would go into hiding this week. So they were planning to go into hiding. This has been mentioned in the very first line. So the situation was problematic. Understand this. The hiding place was located in father's office building. Okay, so this week, that week that she is talking about, they were planning to hide somewhere, and it was located in father's office building. Next page. Saturday, 11 July 1942. Dearest Kitty, Father, Mummy and Margot still can't get used to the sound of the Westerton clock, which tells us the time every quarter of an hour. Westerton is a church, mentioned it has been, yes, a church in Amsterdam, okay. And the churches do possess a clocks, na. So that sound, it was not liked by these people, the family members, father, mummy, Margot, but not me. I loved it from the start. It sounds so reassuring, especially at night. It can be explained in various ways. Okay, I'm sharing my speculations. You'd share yours in the live class. Okay, I believe that when you will go through the chapter, you will understand that she had a very cheerful kind of mind. She was not a girl who likes to be isolated. And in such a situation, when they had been escaping from one place to another, they were totally cut off from the outside world. And Anne was just a child of 14 years old. Okay, and that sound, whenever she heard it, maybe she felt connected with the outside world. Maybe. And in such an isolated phase, in such an in that time when she was feeling isolated from the outside world, she got attached to such sounds, inanimate objects that could connect him to the outside world. It can be a reference. And why didn't the other members like it? Because she was a child, but those were grown up people, and they were very much changed, very much anxious about the current situation. Why? Because they never knew, I told her, they never knew which second could become the last second of their lives. So they were very much afraid, and at the same time, the similar way, they thought that that sound that is coming from the outside world, a kind of fear was there maybe in their mind, that the outside world can find us out anytime. So any kind of sound from the outside world, maybe they didn't like it for that reason. Okay, they felt afraid, they felt awkward, anxious, maybe because of that, or maybe just normally they didn't like it, maybe. But it doesn't happen. Why wouldn't someone like the sound of a clock, right? Why wouldn't they like? There was really a reason, but must be a reason. There must be a reason. So maybe this was the reason. Maybe. Okay, if you are having any other idea, you can share with me. Okay. Well, all I can. Sorry. You no doubt want to hear what I think of being in hiding. So she came to the point that I'm sure that you don't want to hear about all these things about clock and all those things. I'm sure that you want to know about how I feel about hiding in a place. Well, all I can say is that I don't really know yet. I don't think I will ever feel at home in this house, but that doesn't mean I hate it. It's more like being on holiday in some strange pension. Here pension means, see, different text, different meanings, different context and different meaning. Small boarding house or hotel. So what happened, as I mentioned, she was a child, so some childish natures, childish thoughts were there in her mind. It's obvious. She is saying that I don't know how I feel. She was not very much certain about her own feelings, because how to feel about escaping? Does it feel good? But at the same time, she knew that she had to manage. They had to manage with the situation. They had to escape, otherwise they will die. Okay. As long as they can escape successfully, they can avoid the eyes of those rulers, those Nazi people, they can live somehow. But yes, so she knew that they had to manage with the situation. So she's admitting that I would never feel homely in this particular place. How can I, no? I'm escaping, so the fear was there, and it's a new place. Suddenly a new place I'm coming to. Again, after a few days, we will have to move to some other place. They could not stay for a long time at a particular place. They were escaping. They were hiding. So she would never feel that place, she is admitting, but at the same time it was giving them the shelter. It was trying, it was working as a shield, right? That was kind of giving them a safety, a kind of safety, at least for some days. So she felt like, okay, we are maybe on a holiday. I feel like we are on a holiday and we are spending some days here, and after that again a new holiday trip, and we will spend some days in some other place. That's it. She knew how to find happiness or joy or positivity in such a situation. That I like, that I appreciate. Anyway, kind of an odd way to look at life in hiding, but that's how things are. Yes, she herself knew that this is a very odd thing that I am expressing. I know, because we are in hiding, we are escaping, but okay, our life is like this right now, so we have to. The annex means, oh, the title was settling into the secret annex. The annex was secret, and annex mean the meaning of annex has been given here. See, a building that is added to a larger building, and obviously it adds some space. As it is added to a larger building, it adds some space. Okay, where the annex is an ideal place to hide in. It may be damp and lopsided, but there is probably not a more comfortable hiding place in all of Amsterdam, no, in all of Holland actually. So she knew that this was a very good place to hide. No one easily would think of checking them there. Okay, so she is admitting that yes, the place is a little damp and it is leaning onto one side, but at the same time, this is the best and most comfortable place to hide in, not only in Amsterdam but also in the whole Holland. Okay. Up till now, our bedroom with its blank walls was very bare. So after that moment, the walls of that bedroom, they were not covered with any wallpaper, or they were not painted or colored or anything. They were bare, and the bedroom itself was bare because maybe there was not many furniture or anything. Okay, that's why it was bare. The walls were not colorful, and I don't think she was liking it. Okay, let's see. Thanks to father who brought my entire postcard collection and film star collection here beforehand, and with a brush and a pot of glue I was able to plaster the walls with pictures. See, she didn't like anything that was not colorful. She had a very cheerful mind, and she knew how to make the things colorful, how to find out positivity in such a tough situation. And even in that situation, she was thankful to her father. Why? Because her father had already brought. She had a hobby to collect postcards and the maybe the pictures of Hollywood stars, because somewhere okay, I will mention this in the live class. Okay, I will check, because I read something that very clearly suggests that she had a fascination for Hollywood stars, that kind of glamour and everything, the pretty faces, all those things. Okay, the whole diary, if you go through, I have not gone through the whole diary, but yes, this kind of reference is there. Okay, so she is thankful to her father. Why? Because he had already brought those things, and now she is planning to paint, to plaster the walls with those pictures, to make those walls colorful a little bit, as much as she could, with paint and glue. Okay, it looks much more cheerful now. Yes, she was very much, she cared a lot about making the things colorful, cheerful. When the Van Duns arrive, we will be able to build cupboards and other odds and ends out of the wood piled in the attic. Now, who is this Van Duns? See, the name of the other family which was to share the hiding place with the Franks, another Jewish family. They were coming to that place. They were supposed to come to that place just like them to share, to stay there in hiding. Okay. So she is saying that when they will arrive, I am losing the line again and again. Yes, when they will arrive, we will be able to build cupboards and other odds and cupboards and different other articles, different other things that we need to stay here. How? Out of the wood piled in the attic. So there were wood piled in the attic, and out of those they would make cupboard and other necessary things. Marmot and mother have recovered somewhat. They were shocked, both physically, mentally troubled, and Anne is informing her diary that they have recovered somewhat. Yesterday, mother felt well enough to cook split pea soup for the first time. And the name of a dish, you just go through the meaning, you will understand. For the first time, but then she was downstairs talking and forgot all about it. Okay, so her mother felt better and she started to cook this particular dish, split pea soup, and then she went downstairs and started to talk about something, and then she forgot that there was the thing that I need to go to the kitchen and check and complete the cooking. Shiva, this thing happens in our houses with the milk. Right? I don't know whether you have experienced it, whether I have experienced it. Mother tells me that, hey, you just turn off the gas when after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and I forget. And then the rest is history. Anyway, the peas were scorched black and no amount of scraping could get them out of the pan. You can obviously imagine what would happen when you forget to turn off that gas. Those peas were scorched. When they were overcooked, you can see that they were burnt. Yes, they were burnt out of excessive heat, and not a single pea could they could not get them out of that pan. Not a single pea. Because it was burnt in such a way. It was stick to the pan. Last night, the four of us went down to the private office and listened to England on the wireless. On the radio, they went to the office and they were following the news of England through the radio. Okay. I was so scared someone might hear it, and I literally begged father to take me back upstairs. Try to imagine, they were living there. They didn't know for how many days they would live there, but they had to be, throughout the whole time, throughout that whole phase, they had to be so careful that any noise, any kind of loud sound we cannot create. Otherwise, the neighbors would come to know about us and we will have to escape again, or people will know that we are hiding here and everything will be finished. How tough it is. Can you imagine that they would live there, they would carry out their daily duties, daily works, but they cannot create any kind of loud sound. Okay, so when they were listening to that news, Anne felt so tensed, and she was almost begging to her father that, father, please take me upstairs. I don't want to stay here. People would hear us. Let's stop this sound. This was her tension. Mother understood my anxiety and went with me. Whatever we do, that constant fear, that is pathetic. Whatever we do, we are very afraid the neighbors might hear or see us. We started off immediately the first day with sewing curtains. So why did they need sewing curtains? Why did they need to sew curtains? Because they wanted to cover all those windows and everything. Okay. Actually, you can hardly call them that. Since they are nothing but scraps of fabric varying greatly in shape, quality, pattern, which father and I stitched crookedly together with unskilled fingers. Actually, they were not very much bothered about how beautiful those curtains would look or anything. They were just sewing different fabrics, okay, in with that unskilled gesture. Unskilled fingers means what? They were not very much expert in that thing, in sewing. So both her father and she started to sew all those fabrics, okay, those pieces of fabrics with unskilled fingers to somehow give them the shape of a curtain, so that the windows or the other places could be covered. Otherwise people would see them, na? That was their fear. Anyway, uh, these works of art were tacked to the windows, where they will stay until we come out of hiding. So she is saying that these will be fixed to the windows. Tack means with nails they would fix them to the windows like this. Okay, they had not anything else to decorate the house with beautiful curtains or any better system. Okay, so they use their nails only to fix them to the windows, so that people could not see them, and those would be there until they came out from their hiding. The building on our right is a branch of the Cake Company, a firm from Jandam, and on the left is a furniture workshop. These can be important short questions. Though the people who work there are not on the premises after working hours, any sound we make might travel through the walls. She knew that only for the working hours people used to come and stay there, but she was very aware of the fact that we cannot make any kind of sound, because any kind of sound they can hear, they can travel through those walls, and we cannot make that mistake. We cannot afford making that mistake. We have forbidden Margot. This sentence just touched my heart. See, we have forbidden Margot to cough at night, even though she has a bad cold, and we are giving her large doses of codeine. Codeine is a medicine taken to reduce pain, which helps one sleep. See, that sister Margot, uh, she was not well. Okay, she was not physically fit. She had caught cold, and she used to cough at night. But they had to forbid her that don't cough at night, as if she could control. It can't be controlled, na. When you're feeling like coughing, you have to. But she was forbidden to cough, and she was being given high doses of codeine, those medicines, so that she could sleep properly, and no sound, even no sound of coughing. They could not afford that. How painful it is. I'm looking forward to the arrival of the Van Dams, which is set for Tuesday. So they were supposed to come on Tuesday. It will be much more fun and also not as quiet. So she wanted the house to be filled with people. Okay. Again and again, these things remind us of the fact how cheerful she was from within. She didn't like anything bare and quiet. She wanted to enjoy the life, but see what happened to them. You see, it's the silence that makes me so nervous during the evenings and nights, and I would give anything to have one of our helpers sleep here. She wanted someone, she wanted companion, she wanted to enjoy. She hated silence, she hated isolation, but she was also aware of the fact that they had to live their life like this if they wanted to live for some more days. It's really not that bad here, since we can do our own cooking and can listen to the wireless in Daddy's office. Mr. Clayman and Maeve and Babe, this I can't pronounce, Bosquij, to have helped us so much. Okay, these were the people who helped them to settle into that secret annex, and she is again trying to find out some positivity that okay, it's not that much bad here. We can do our own cooking, we can listen to the wireless, means to the radio, and some people are there, remember the names, they are also helping us. We have already preserved loads of rhubarb, strawberries, it's rhubarb or rhubarb, I need to check, strawberries and cherries. So for the time being, I doubt if we will be bored. It's a kind of fruit, you just check it, that jelly kind of thing you can take out from this fruit. And yes, she is admitting that we have brought lots of things, we can cook, we can eat, we can listen to the wireless, and we also have a supply of reading materials, and we are going to buy lots of games. Of course, we can't ever look out of the window or go outside, but again, that fact is there in her mind, in her head, that yes, we can't go out, we can't look outside the window because people will see us. So she was willing to get connected to the outside world, but she knew she couldn't. She was trying to find that happiness in some other things, okay, in cooking, study materials, all those things. And we have to be quiet so the people downstairs can't hear us, okay. Yesterday we had our hands full. They were super busy with some work. Hands full mean super busy. They were super busy. We had to preserve 2 crates of cherries for Mr. Kugler. Okay, they were doing this particular thing. We are going to use the empty crates to make bookshelves. Very innovative. Now, she was very creative. She was always ready to do this and that, to make, to paint the walls, to fix those posters and what the photos of film stars to the walls. And now she is thinking about using those crates to make bookshelves. She was really creative. Someone is calling me. Okay, while writing, she could hear that someone is calling me. So she is like, bye bye. Yours, Anne. Just as you finish a diary entry, she is finishing this diary entry. Okay, the next portion we will be reading on the next day. I would suggest you to go through this portion that I have taught, we have discussed, and if you are having any other kinds of ideas, any other thoughts as you share in the live class, do that today also. Alright. So bye bye. Take care. We will be meeting there.